Hi everyone, I'm Jamal from Scented Moments channel, where I help you to discover the amazing world of perfumery. So in this video, and because spring already sprung, and although I already uploaded my top 12 best spring fragrance list for this year, I still wanted to talk about spring fragrances, and in this video I want to talk about 5 notes, perfume notes that work wonderfully during the springtime. And I will mention, every time I will mention a perfume note, I will talk about a niche and designer fragrance that represents really well that specific note. So with that being said, let's dive into this list and these fragrances. So the first fragrance note that I think that works just wonderfully during the spring is rose. And actually on my video, I think I didn't feature any rose fragrance. So this is a video that allows me to offer you different and other type of suggestions for spring, fragrances that work wonderfully during the spring, other than just the ones that I mentioned on my spring list. And so talking about rose, I mean, I love rose. I recently talked about my favorite rose perfumes, so feel free to check that video out if you have yet to, of course. And this fragrance in the niche side of things it's currently my favorite. And spoiler alert, if you still didn't saw that video, my favorite rose fragrances, now you know. But well, I'm featuring a lot of rose fragrances in that video, so I think it might be useful for you if you want to start to dive into rose fragrances. But this one specifically, it's from House of Les Indemodables, and it is Rose de Jamal. What a stunning perfume this is. This is really the best rose interpretation that I ever smelled, and I already smelled a few, including lots from Amouage, including much other fragrances that I will not mention now, because again, feel free to check that video. But here, this rose is really a pure, fresh, but with depth, red rose. The freshness comes from a citrusy component. You know, this fragrance, this rose, the first time I smelled it, and still to this day, I kind of see a resemblance with Lyric Man from Amouage. And I love Lyric Man. Lyric Man actually was my entry rose fragrance, and I kind of see a similarity. Now, I think that the quality and the way that this is blended, it's slightly superior, I would say. But it's there because it has a green component, it's citrusy, the type of rose here, because of the freshness. The only thing that I would say is that I think this has more depth, and that's why I kind of prefer this one, Rose de Jamal, than Lyric Man. But either way, Lyric Man is also one of my all-time favorites. So it's definitely top 5. So that says a lot about how good Rose de Jamal is. I mean, it's simply stunning. I mean, rose is the most prominent note here. This has great longevity. I mean, it has its density. It's, again, long lasting, it projects. So I think this is really a fantastic alternative for spring, but not only for spring. I think this can be really a all year round type of fragrance. But I really think that rose works especially well during the spring. And rose is my favorite flower, so especially in fragrances. So Rose de Jamal from Les Indemodables. I mean, please just check this one out if you have yet to, especially if you love rose fragrances. The designer rose fragrance, it's popular, at least here in the fragrance community. It's from the house of Cartier, and it is Cartier Déclaration d'un Soir. So this is a tester, that's why you can see here the the letterings and the accords that this fragrance has. But this one here is to die for. Now, I actually repurchased this one. This is my second bottle of Déclaration d'un Soir, but the first one I never ended up finishing a bottle. I just gave it away. Actually, I gave it away to my dad because I think I was not ready. It was too early on my, let's say, fragrance journey when I smelled this. I blind bought this, and while I did appreciate it, but not that much. It was a rose. It was just not working for me for some reason, and then I ended up giving away. But now, now it was last year, but because I really love rose and I learned to appreciate rose thanks to Lyric Man, I needed to repurchase this one. This is a high quality scent. I mean, first of all, it's a Cartier. Cartier, it's a in the designer side of things, I think it's a very underrated house. I mean, usually we talk about Chanel, Dior, Hermes, in not so big an extension, but still, I mean, then you have the Versace's, you have the Narciso Rodriguez, you have, I mean, many other fragrances or more trendy fragrance brands, and then we tend to forget Cartier, because Cartier really has high quality fragrances. I mean, and for the most part they are all very unique, and this is one of them. So Déclaration d'un Soir adds, so you have the original Déclaration here, the DNA, the spices, the aromatic nuances, and you are adding this musky powdery rose. Oh, that it's just so sensual, so elegant. It's really fantastic. And actually they say here elegance and sensuality, fresh, spicy, woody cocktail, and it really is. Although I would say that the rose adds the note that adds this sensuality and this elegance. Stunning fragrance. You can find this for a very affordable price in the online discounters. So just go for it. Try first because of the spices, because of the powderiness of the rose. This might not be for you. So please do try this before you buy. Don't do like I did, because I blind bought this first and at that time it wasn't for me. So just try this first, try on your skin, let it settle, and then you'll see how it develops on your skin. But for me, this is a great designer rose scent here. It's Cartier Déclaration d'un Soir. The next fragrance note that works wonderfully during spring, I mean, it's spring, it just screams spring, it's lavender. Lavender, I mean, always gives this relaxing feel, this feel that everything will be okay, very comforting, and at the same time it gives some energy while smelling lavender, but mostly it's relaxing. It's that feel of calmness, comfort, and I think it's just perfect for spring. And the two fragrances that I have here I think they are wonderful examples of good lavender perfumes. So the first one, it's a niche, and this is MDCI Invasion Barbare. I mean, you can see how low this bottle is, and you can see how much I love this. So this is probably my favorite barbershop currently, and already for some time now. I love this. This is so sparkly, so effervescent, because this has more things than just lavender. I mean, lavender here is center. Oh, very nice, smooth lavender. But then you have vanilla, you have cardamom. So you have here more things going on. You have an underlying sweetness, spices. So this is quite sensual because of the cardamom. It's very aromatic. And it's very sparkly again, very elegant, very versatile. I just love this. Beautiful modern barbershop here. from MDCI. Actually, it's one of their best sellers. It's Invasion Barbare and Chypre Palatin, but which I also have. But this one here, I mean, it's wonderful. It's a fantastic modern lavender that you really need to check out if you're searching for a signature scent, for example. I think this is just perfect. MDCI Invasion Barbare. Now, in the designer side of things, this is a very underrated fragrance, and this was a great discovery for me. It's from the house of Lalique, and it is Lalique pour Homme Lyon, and this is the Eau de Toilette concentration. Absolutely stunning. First of all, stunning looking bottle. Beautiful, beautiful looking bottle. I mean, it has the shape of the Lalique white fragrance, but the work that they did here with the head of the lion, it's just brilliant, brilliant. So this fragrance here, this was released in the 90s, and this smells modern. I mean, this is a mature fragrance. It's a more old school fragrance, but I think it's still very modern today. This is lavender, of course, very spicy. So you have on top like lavender, mandarin orange, bergamot. So it's very fresh, citrusy in the opening. Then you have basil, you have patchouli, you have vanilla, you have oak moss, ambergris. This fragrance is simply to die for. This is so elegant, so sophisticated, more masculine, I would say, a more gentlemanly, mature, masculine scent. And it's, well, a high quality fragrance. This could easily be a niche scent. Absolutely fantastic. I would love to try the Eau de Parfum, although I saw some comments that the Eau de Parfum is not, it's too dense and thick, because this fragrance, the Eau de Toilette, has so many layers and you can see the development. It's just out of this world. And the lavender here, it's at least from the top until the heart. I mean, it's the center, and then you have around the lavender the citruses, the basil, so you have other notes surrounding the lavender. And then when it starts to dry down, you see more heavy notes like the oak moss, patchouli, vanilla. Amazing, amazing fragrance right here. If you are into more old school barbershop fragrances, I think this is definitely one that you should try. It's one of the most complex barbershop fragrances that I tried, and I think this is even more than just a barbershop scent. I mean, okay, you have the lavender and the oak moss, but you have so many things here: the vanilla, the patchouli, the ambergris, the basil, the citruses. I mean, this is so complex. I think it's more than just a barbershop scent. I would say that this is like an aromatic, spicy, woody fragrance with some oriental touch. Oh, it's really beautiful. Very, very good fragrance. And I think this is great for spring and also for fall. It's perfect in between. Very great. I think this is a great transitional season type of fragrance. I think this is a great fragrance for that transitional season. I mean, but it's beautiful either way. This could be a signature scent also. I mean, fantastic fragrance from Lalique pour Homme Lyon. This is the Eau de Toilette concentration. The next fragrance note is orange blossom / orange. And why I'm not just centering in orange blossom, because I don't have any straightforward orange blossom fragrance, designer fragrance, which is weird actually. And I could not think even of one that I could eventually buy. I don't know, tell me in the comments down below if there are some great designer orange blossom fragrances. I would love to hear that, because I really like orange blossom, and I think orange blossom, it's just the smell, it's So good. It has that orangey greenness that it's just to die for. And for me, in the niche side of things, the fragrance that captures that to perfection is from Profumum Roma. And actually, Profumum Roma has two fragrances that have orange blossom, and they are perfect. One actually I featured on my spring list, but this one I didn't. I already did. I mean, a couple of years ago, but I still think that this really captivates the orange blossom tree. I mean, really, you feel that you are under an orange blossom tree, and this is Orangea by Profumum Roma. The most realistic orange blossom note that you will smell. Wow. Oh my god, this is so good. This is the reason why Profumum Roma is my favorite fragrance brand, although I'm not very happy with their recent releases, but still, I still consider them as my favorite brand because of this. Although they can be and they are quite linear, very straightforward, but the perfume, the scent itself, it's so good. It's so realistic, so natural smelling that you don't even want for it to change. And this is a perfect example of that. Orangea, the most realistic orange blossom. Again, green, orangey, delicate, but intense at the same time. Yeah, the performance is insane. On my skin, this projects and lasts the entire day. It's beautiful. This is spring in a bottle. Did not feature this one. I featured another, which I also consider a wonderful orange blossom fragrance, but it's more resinous and it has a vanilla touch in there. It's very airy, a nary gourmand orange blossom scent. It's beautiful. It's really beautiful with some resin touch because of the myrrh. It's also very beautiful, but this one is more straightforward. This is like orange blossom, and that's it. With some oranges here, some citruses here also, but orange blossom is the main note here, and I really advise you to check this one out. It's Profumum Roma Orangea. And in the designer side of things, because I really don't have any designer orange blossom scents, or that it's more straightforward into the orange blossom. I mean, and I can't think of a designer fragrance that has a very prominent orange blossom note. So I decided to feature like an orange scent, and I mean, here I needed to mention an Hermes, and it's not Hermes, it is Concentree d'Orange Vert. This is one of my all-time favorite orange fragrances. It's so realistic. Yeah, this smells like orange. Oh, it's so good. A green, realistic orange. It has a watery feel into it. It has a transparency, like, I mean, Hermes, before Christine, I don't know if you pronounce Christine Nagel or Christine Nagel, but before her, when it was Jean-Claude Ellen, the Hermes fragrances really had this transparency into them. And this one has, although it's thicker, it's denser than the original. This is Concentree. I think it's the original d'Orange Vert, Eau d'Orange Vert. But it still has its transparency. It has a wateryness into it, not aquatic, a watery feel. Green, orange. Oh, very, very good. Very uplifting, and it's just to die for. This screams spring. Spring and summer, to be honest. And I mean, the performance, it's okay. I think this is an eau de toilette, and although this is part of the cologne collection of Hermes, this is an eau de toilette. In terms of performance, I think it's quite good. So yes, this is a great example of an orange fragrance in the designer side of things. I think you should definitely check out. It's Concentree d'Orangea by Hermes. The next fragrance note that screams, but I mean, I think this screams spring like no other. It is Galbanum. Galbanum is this aromatic gum resin, very green. And here, I mean, these two, I consider these two to be the best, but really the best Galbanum fragrances, but either in the niche, either in the designer. So in the niche, because I'm starting with niche, it's from the house of Frederic Malle, and it is French Lover. I mean, this fragrance is just to die for. This was love at first sniff. I mean, the Galbanum here, straightforward. But it's so good. Very gentlemanly, very woody. You have also an orange, a nice orange note in here. So orange, Galbanum, woods. I mean, I would say, I don't recall the note breakdown, but it seems that here that it has a touch of vetiver. Definitely has like a grassy rootiness in here with the Galbanum. I mean, beautiful, beautiful scent. This is such an elegant fragrance, perfect for springtime, and it's the perfect example of a Galbanum note. Now, the only downside of this fragrance on my skin is the performance, really. I mean, I don't know, maybe because of the reformulation, because this is, I bought this one like a couple of years ago, so I don't know, maybe this was reformulated back then and the performance isn't good. But yes, on my skin, I mean, this lasts, I don't know, 5 hours, and the projection isn't also that great. It's really the only downside of this fragrance, but the scent itself, it's to die for. I mean, a natural smelling fragrance overall that you really need to check out. This is an aromatic, citrusy, green, woody fragrance that really deserves your attention. It's French Lover by Frederic Malle. Now, in the designer side of things, it's from the house of Chanel, and this is number 19, Eau de Parfum. This is one of my all-time favorites from Chanel, and this is the reason why I explore the women's or the fragrances from Chanel that are marketed to women. It's thanks to Chanel number 19. Oh, this is so good. This is unisex through and through. I mean, yeah, Galbanum. This is heavier than French Lover. This is thicker. This is Galbanum, of course, but you have so many flowers in here, like jasmine, lily of the valley, rose, and it's just so elegant, effortless. I mean, this is so effortless. How good this fragrance is. I mean, a green floral fragrance done to perfection, with of course some aldehydes in here. This is perfect. This is a perfect Galbanum, a perfect green fragrance overall. Chanel number 19 Eau de Parfum. This is unisex. Again, this is a masterpiece in my opinion. And last but definitely not least, another fragrance note that I absolutely love. It's one of my favorite, all-time favorite fragrance notes, and I think it blooms during the spring. It's Iris. I love Iris. I mean, I have quite a few fragrances that are focused on Iris. So in the niche side of things, this is from the house of Masque Milano, and it's La Tessa. Oh, La Tessa. It's like champagne. It's a champagne of Iris, because it's very bubbly. It has that sparkliness into it, and then it's straightforward Iris, like very buttery, rooty Iris with that fresh bubbliness. Oh, it's a champagne of iris. Oh, it's so good. A natural smelling iris. I mean, beautiful, beautiful. One of the best iris fragrances out there currently, in my opinion. It's La Tessa by Masque Milano. And of course, in the designer side of things, I mean, you just need to mention Dior Homme, the original. The original, although this is still the 2011 version. This is 2005, and I'm so scared, I'm so afraid to really finish this bottle, because then I will buy the one that says Dior Homme original. Although it smells the same, but well, I don't know. This one is so special, and I have so many great memories attached with this one. This was one of my signature scents back in 2018, and you can see how much I reward is. So this was really almost like a signature scent. I love this iris, this cacao, the musk. It's so good. This is so good, so smooth, so elegant, so sophisticated. Really, it's, for me, this is a masterpiece, and it's one of the best. I would say this is the best modern Dior fragrance in the mainstream line. Definitely, it's hands down, hands down. Although I really love Dior Homme Parfum, and actually Dior Homme Parfum is one of my all-time favorites, and also for me it's a masterpiece. I mean, Dior Homme Intense, Dior Homme Parfum, even Dior Homme Eau, which is unfortunately now discontinued. Even Dior Homme Sport, not this one, the 2012 version that I have. I mean, all of that line was a masterpiece, and it was the reason why, I mean, until a few years ago, I mean, Dior was my favorite brand because of this line. And then of course you have the Eau Sauvage, not Sauvage, Eau Sauvage, the Eau Sauvage Parfum, Fahrenheit Le Parfum. I mean, Fahrenheit, but Dior Homme was the reason why I really love Christian Dior. Now, I mean, I don't know, they when they tried to change this line, and when they released Dior Homme 2020, for me was the turning point. Although that was like a I don't know, like an experimental release, like a solo release. Thanks God. But for me it was really a turn off point for me, because Dior from that moment started to go really, even their exclusives were great. Bois d'Argent, Fève Délicieuse, really love those two. Also liked Cuir Canage, but then after, when they started to release fragrance after fragrance after fragrance in their exclusive range, I mean, and all really very forgettable releases, I mean, it was when I start to really to look down at Dior, really, which is a shame. But this one, so again, because then after the Dior Homme line, they just released Dior Sauvage and all its flankers or concentrations, as you want to call it, different concentrations. So I still think that Dior Homme is the best modern release from Dior in the mainstream line. And I mean, after this one, and this was a groundbreaking release. This was released in 2005, and after this one, I mean, this type of iris, this sweet cacao iris, started to be very trendy, like a decade after. Like back then in 2015, you start to have the Valentino Uomo, the Valentino Uomo Intense, and now you have and then you have the Prada L'Homme Intense. Now you have the Gentleman from Givenchy, the new Gentleman line from Givenchy, also very focused on iris. So this was really a groundbreaking release back in 2005. And yeah, it's a reference of iris, and that's why every time I mention iris, I need to talk about this one. perfect for spring in my opinion, and it's one that everyone should try at least once. It's Dior Homme by Christian Dior. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Tell me in the comments down below what fragrance notes you think work perfectly during the springtime, and tell me the fragrance that really interprets that specific note. And also tell me in the comments down below designer or orange blossom fragrances. I would love to hear that. Guys, once again, thank you so much for your ongoing support, and see you in the next video. Take care.